Hey, my name is Marco. I'm a former pro opera singer turned voice actor. Today we got ourselves some more Genshin Impact listening to the Enkanomiya battle theme, Combat Beneath the Waves. I've never listened to this. This is a blind react. The Genshin music is always really fun for me as a blind react, though I'll probably eventually move away from blind reacting and do more character themes too. So let's start with this and take a listen and dive right in. So that's really fun. This is something new for what I've heard for Genshin Impact music. There's this this very sharp clash, which is new. I have not heard this in any Genshin Impact music, where there's a bit of kind of horrific tension. The quality here is very, 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 very tense. And yeah, let's keep going. So it's interesting that we're using this pizzicato. Pizzicare is to pluck, pizzicato is plucked. So this is that, you hear that in the violins, ding, 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 ding. Genshin music is always very, very orchestrated, very, very musical, very, very traditional in its use of instrumentation. I think it's fantastic. It's probably one of the few games that has this kind of soundscape today, and it's always basically a symphony. Wow, what a beautiful melody. There is a bit of like piratey vibes here. I don't think that this is at all that. But now we're entering into this kind of like confidence and assuredness. Very interesting. This melody is very, very warm and resolute and confident. Note that this has also only been a quartet. I don't even think that we don't have any full orchestration here. We don't have a large orchestra, 60, 80 piece orchestra. This is violin, viola, cello, and bass, and you've got these alternating between this pizz and this legato. It's very interesting that this music would only be a quartet or only be strings. It's very interesting. It has so much character to it. You hear that? That's Final Fantasy VIII battle theme. That's interesting. Wow, I don't know what that is. It can be multiple different things. It could be ice. It could be wind. It could be breathlessness from fighting. It could be steel. That's very interesting. We've had multiple different sections here. This is the chorus section where the melody is standing out. There's been a lot of meandering in this piece, and all these instruments, even though there's only four instruments, we're doing a lot of layering. And when we get to the to hear this addition of this, it really makes it more interesting. It's giving me pause, and I'm trying to figure out if I bet you it's wind. Beautiful. I love that even battle themes in Genshin have so much flair, so much color, so much. This is some of the most unique music being composed today by any composer, classical, video game, or otherwise. And I love the idea of including the singer in there. So obviously that was breath that I was hearing. You know, breath is such an important and powerful thing in music. Oftentimes we think that the most important part is the part that we sing, and you know, the truth is that the most important part of music is often the rests, the space between the things that we hear. Rests are incredibly powerful. Rests are incredibly important, incredibly powerful to music, and I think hearing breath gives us a new sense of humanity and a new sense of light, and it allows us to really hold space, literally, to music, because if everything is just constant, we have no space to breathe. Literally, again, we have no space to rest. The power of breath is immeasurable, and it gives us a sense of humanity, it gives us a sense of truth. There's honesty, there's rawness, and all of that when we hear someone take a big breath and we hear that, especially in something effective. Now, this is obviously to add a color and to add a layering of what we've already been hearing for 3 minutes, but it's absolutely lovely. And then to add the singer over top, again, it gives us just a little bit of variation to keep it fresh and keep it kind of, you know, inspired and keep us moving. What's fun about this is that you really hear combat beneath the waves. You hear the literally the swelling of the waves. You feel the cascading of the water. You feel the blue murkiness around you. You feel this breath sound. You feel that sort of, maybe that's the air bubbles that are rising to the surface. You know, you're taking a breath, or maybe you've just emerged from the water and you're breathing, and so you're gasping for air because you've been holding your breath for a really long time. That all comes through in this. You know, it's amazing how a title can make a big difference, because a title allows you to get a clearer picture. Combat beneath the waves. Okay, so we're in the water, and then you hear ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum. Maybe the first bit you're diving into the water. Then you've got the melody as you like swimming, and it's amazing what your mind will create from music just from hearing the name of a title. There are so many different things going on here that, you know, yes, if I didn't know that it was combat beneath the waves, I would think it was somewhere else, obviously, or I wouldn't even think that it was in the water. But in the water, it makes tons of sense, and it's really interesting to hear how they're creating a soundscape based around the ocean and based around being underneath the water. And I think that soprano singer, that it's sort of echoey. and it gives us a lot of room to think about the vastness of the ocean, the darkness when you're looking out into the distance and you just see black, but there's blue in front of you, and you don't know how far it stretches on, and you have that soprano kind of giving us that space to explore that. So this is really beautiful. Per usual, every time I hear Genshin music, I always just kind of give myself a little bit of moment of relaxation, because I know that this music will be good and it'll be interesting to talk about. So as always, thank you so much. This was an original PayPal request, and I've since done away with PayPal. It's a little bit easier for me to manage if everything is funneled through Patreon. So if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to check out the Patreon, but there's never any pressure ever. Feel free to join the Discord. We have a lovely and thriving Genshin community there. And as always, thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.